Today my topic is a very simple and very engrossing and very interesting topic that discovers the basic genetics, and we can say that we are describing Mendelian laws of inheritance, and it will give the lights on the mechanism how the characters are inherited from first generation to the next generation. So start with the great man, great visionary Gregor John Mendel. From 1822 to 1884, we can call him now father of genetics. But in the time of Mendel, he did not get his due recognition because of the lack of the evidences he provided for his research work. But somehow, some people don't get their due in their lifetime, but afterwards they are glorified, and now we call him as father of genetics. Mendel was raised on the agricultural farms. His father was a farmer, and he has interest in the natural sciences from the very beginning of his life. As a clergyman, as a man of church, he worked starting in the church from the age of 21 and studied plant breeding in the monastery of Brunn, Austria. This is now included in the Czech Republic, and there he found in the garden his plant of interest, that is Pisum sativum, called as garden pea. Mendel's work was very exhaustive, and he used mathematical calculation to interpret his data in a very lucid manner. So here we can see that why he selected the Pisum sativum and what were the advantages he had with the plant. As you know, the plant is an annual plant and it can be cultivated very easily. And it is having all well-defined characters with the bisexual flowers, and moreover it is having the self-pollination, which is very helpful in the maintaining the purity of the character, which is very necessary for the studies. Naturally we can have an easy hybridization with this because the flower is self-pollinated, and we can have the characters very lucidly, very in detail. Then after the work of the Mendel, he has developed his own terminology, and that was very elaborate. We can start with the factors, which are now called as genes, and these are the hereditary informations for a single character or a single trait. And what is the trait? Trait is the alternate form of gene which is describing the same character, and it is found on the homologous or as well as heterologous chromosomes. Generally we found two alleles for the character, and on the homologous chromosome we found that the pair of the chromosome is having the same sequence of character, while the heterologous having the different sequence of the character. And if we talk in the terms of the gene or character or allele, we can say them homozygous, that is pure breeding. We can say them heterozygous or hybrid. What do we mean by homozygous? Homozygous, when an organism inherits two identical allele for a trait, means trait for the if we take the example of the plant length, the both trait either for the tallness or for the dwarfness. But in the case of heterozygous, both the forms, that both alternate forms are found on the pair of the chromosome, that is allele of the dwarfness as well as allele of the tallness. Next we move to the genotype and phenotype. As the name indicates, geno means genetic, so we can say that it is the genetic constitution of the plant, and pheno, as we all know, that pheno means morpho. So when the external morphology of the plant is discussed, it is called as the phenotype. Mendel performed the crosses of various types, out of which two crosses were important. That is, first is monohybrid cross. Again, mono means one. So when a cross is made between the two parents varying only in the one pair of the allele, it is called as monohybrid cross. If it is having the two different characters, two different pairs of allele, it is called as dihybrid cross. Again, another interesting point, that is back cross. He crossed the individual of the next generation with their parents, and to find out the progeny or the genotype makeup of the F1 individual, he performed test cross. And in the test cross, he performed the cross of the F1 generation with the known parental genotype, that is the homozygous recessive. So again, on the basis of the Mendel, we can again move on. We can say that he has described what is dominant, what is recessive. Dominant means the allele which is expressed in the even in the presence of its alternating contrasting allele in the F1 generation. Recessive we can say which is masked. The effect of the recessive allele is masked in the presence of the dominant in the F1 generation. And When we called about the generation, naturally we move on to the parental generation, F1 generation, F2 generation, or so on. When parental generation we are talking, which we are consulting as the P generation, is made up of the two homozygous parents, and one should be dominant and one should be recessive. For the F1 generation, as the name indicates, it is first female generation, which is the offsprings of the parental generation, and F2 are the offsprings of the F1 generation. And on the basis of the studies of the F1 and F2 generation, he decided that there are two types of ratios, that is phenotypic ratio as well as genotypic ratio. The ratio of the phenotypes in the individuals of the F2 generation will be called as phenotypic ratio, and the genotype ratio of the genotypes in the F2 generation will be called as the genotypic symbol. Then if we move to the expression, how we express his work, how we shown his work in the form of data, in the form of charts, in the form of the checkerboards. So then he used the Punnett checkerboard. This Punnett checkerboard is having a table-like structure on which with X generation we are having one parent, on the Y generation we are having second parent. You can see here that we are on the X generation we have taken the male, and on the Y generation we have taken the female, and I am showing here you the monohybrid cross for the length of the plant, where we are showing tallness and dwarfness. So start here with the 7 characters Mendel has selected, and as you can see there are two forms, one is dominant and one is recessive. Mendel was lucky that he has selected 7 characters which were situated on the different chromosomes, and he doesn't get any interference of the characters in his result. First character was the plant height. You can see by the point 1 that it is having tallness and dwarfness. Flower position, axial and terminal. You can see in the diagram 2 that flower is on axial position and in terminal position. 3 is flower color, white and red. You can see in the third, that is one flower is white and one is red. You can see pod shape, that is inflated and constricted. You can see in the diagram 4, inflated is dominant and constricted is recessive. You can see the character number 5, pod color, that is green and yellow. You can see seed color, again green and yellow. And you can see 7th character, that is seed shape, round is dominant and wrinkled is recessive. So this is all. In the next lecture we will discuss about the laws of inheritance given by Mendel in detail. Thank you. So as we discussed in our earlier lecture, the introduction of Mendel and the terminology given by Mendel, the 7 characters. Now we will move forward and discuss the theory of the Mendel, which he has postulated in 4 postulates and framed 2 well-framed laws. So we will discuss one by one. The first postulate was the principle of paired factors. In this he stated that a character is represented in a double dose or you can say that at least 2 unit factors which are found on the homologous chromosome and comes from the different parent. Sometimes they are homozygous, that is both the chromosomes are having the same allele, or sometimes they are heterozygous, that is both the chromosomes are having different contrasting alleles. The pair of this allele is called as allelomorph. Then we move to the second postulate, which is sometimes mistaken as the first law of the Mendel, but it is the second postulate. It is called as principle of dominance, and according to this, Mendel said that when we crosses 2 homozygous individuals with one pair of the contrasting character, we found that only one form of the allele is expressed in the F1 generation, while the other is remain masked. The expressed character is called as dominant allele, while the masked character is called as recessive allele. And the symbol for the dominant allele is given from the capital letter of the character, that is example, that is height of plant. So we are taking tallness here as the character, and capital T for the tallness and small t for the dwarfness. All the characters which Mendel have selected have allelomorph, where one trait is dominant and one trait is recessive. Now we move to the Mendel's postulate 3, which is the first law of the Mendel, and it is called as principle of segregation or law of purity of gametes. As you can see here by the word purity of gametes, we can imply here that the gametes are the alleles, because the gamete is haploid and it is having the single dose of allele. When we say that the single dose of allele, we will always found it in its pure form. That is, allele is either tall or dwarf. But when we combine them in F2 generation, that is when we cross the F1 hybrid, we found that both the alleles recombined in a definite ratio and expressed in two different type of ratio, that is phenotypic ratio, that is 3:1, and genotypic ratio 1:2:1. By the diagram we can see that the crossed hybrids were both having the heterozygous features. The alleles are separated in the pure form, that is tallness and dwarfness, and then they recombine where the genotypic ratio is 1:2:1 and phenotypic ratio is the 2:1. The 2:1 ratio said that pure plus hybrid tall, and 1:2:1 said that 1 pure tall, 2 hybrid tall and 1 dwarf. Now we move to the Mendel postulate 4, that is law of independent assortment, which can be called as the second law of Mendel. Here we move to the dihybrid cross. Until now we have discussed all the principles with the help of monohybrid cross. Here we move to the dihybrid cross. Naturally we are talking about the two pair of characters. The two pairs of characters are assorted in the independent manner. Their inheritance is not interlinked. They can separate and they can recombine. In this way we get the new recombinants in the F2 generation, and that too in a specific ratio. So we can say that alleles of the one gene are passed independently to the alleles of other gene. And this is the basic cause where we find the genetic recombination, the foundation, very foundation of the genetic evolution. So in this case Mendel applied the mathematical processes, and he said that the number of genotypes, possible genotype, is 3:1, 3 to the power n, and number of possible phenotype is 2 to the power n, where n is the number of pair of alleles. Here we are having two pairs of alleles. With this chart, it is very helpful to understand what Mendel wanted to say from the independent assortment. When we make a dihybrid cross between round and yellow seeded plant, which both are dominant character, and we are taking dominant, double dominant, and we are crossing it with the double recessive, that is green and wrinkled, we found independent assortment of round and wrinkled, yellow and green. So round is not bound to go with yellow, wrinkle is not bound to go with green. We can found round yellow or we can found wrinkled green both. So as you can say that 2 to the power n means 2 to the power 2 means 4 phenotype, and here we can see 9:3:3:1, where we can found that the two new recombinants we are founding into 3:3, and the total is 9:3:3:1 is the 4 phenotypes, where 3 to the power n, where you can say that 9 types of genotypes we are founding, and here you can say them into 1:2:1, 2:4:2 and 1:2:1. So 9 genotypes which are here marked with the different colors, and you can easily recognize that we are talking about which type of the genotype. So that is all about the laws of Mendel. But later on it was discussed that in the every process Mendel's law are not proven valid, and it was discussed in the Mendelian expansion or exception to the Mendelian law, which we will discuss in the next lecture.